Yo, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the stream. Hope y'all having a wonderful day. And yeah, so I guess after playing through Valhalla last week, just based on someone's recommendation, I may as well play Valhalla Kids, that one April Fool's spinoff. A little late for that, obviously. But with that said, I have been curious about this particular game, especially after it was recommended. So I figured it's short enough. I may as well go and check to see what this game's all about. Oh, and also, side note, yeah, that's my wallpaper right there. Oh no, what a spoiler. So, yeah, let's go ahead and check this out, shall we? Now, I did test this game a little earlier before, and I'm just gonna say this right now, a bit of a headphone warning. I'm gonna try to lower the volume as much as I can on my end as well, as long as also on the streamer experience. So yeah, just be forewarned. That is still loud. Oh God. Ow! That hurts. That actually hurt a little. What the shit? Yeah, I guess we're starting off with this. Yeah, I suppose so. Just lower the volume really quick. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I haven't joined in a while as I'm trying to fix my schedule up. So, hey, wait, you know what? Welcome back, Alex. Welcome back. How you doing? Honestly, I just started the stream right now, so. Like, really? You haven't missed out on much. Right, so, for those who are joining in, last week I finished up playing Valhalla, and thanks to the recommendation of one viewer, you know what, I decided to just check out this other game as well, the spin-off, which is more of a April Fool's joke, if anything. Yeah, I know, a little late. But yeah, you know what, check out some more of these other titles, whether it's in the form of this, and yeah, I guess thanks to the first game, I'm also looking forward to the second game whenever that comes out. Whenever that does come out at some point in time, at some point in the future. Don't let the visuals fool you, though. It's I did see a screen of this game, and yeah, it still retains the humor of the first game, and it's my kind of humor. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, but yeah. Let's go and play this right now. Manga aesthetics. Imagine that. Let me check to see. Okay. It was a cloudy, humid day. The kind of day that I was minding my own business after class when a girl showed up at the door. Excuse me, Dana? Holy! What? Sorry, you... Stella. Is it a bad time? You saw nothing. What's up? You see, it's about Say. Say no more. Already with the violence! This Damn, this chick with the violence already. What? What is wrong with you? That's the thing. We don't know yet. She was working on a booth for next week's festival. She was storing it in the auditorium like everyone else, but to the schoolyard. Damn, 3D environments. Sheesh. You actually went and bothered Dana about this? Everything's fine. Don't worry. It's not fine. Oh no, she's crying. You poured your soul into that booth to make it perfect. I didn't really. And then someone came and destroyed it. You deserve better than that. Okay, I won't lie though. Okay. For perspective. Tay really is a sweetheart. Like a really nice sweetheart in the original game. So to see Stella like this, I can't help but just remember naturally, even I would say, yeah, even say it deserves so much better. Even if this is just a spin-off, she deserves it. She deserves so much more. I didn't do much, so I didn't lose. Filthy jabronis destroying the hard work of an innocent girl. Uh-oh. Oh, God. I'll track their asses down to make them pay. And make them pay. Please don't get so excited about it. But first, I gotta ask some questions. Great. I'll be at your base if you need me. Why there? Because that place is a mess. How can you stand being there? You can't even walk properly. Right. I just can't leave it be, knowing it's like that. Now go. You gotta find that terrorist. Okay, maybe terrorist might be a little strong. Let's go. Okay, where should I start looking? Maybe I should ask someone. Let's see here. Look at Say. Okay, so it's this kind of game now. Everything okay? It's not. I can see misery plain as day on your face. Yeah, because that's the face of misery. Can't you tell? He's so cute, though. I'm not plain as day. God damn. Okay, Dana. Jesus. Okay. Oh, fluffy. Oh, Stella. Huh? Can I touch it? The boa thing, the hair, the ears. You'll have to be more specific about what. That thing on your neck. Oh yeah, it's the boa thing. Away. Forget it. Not worth it. Damn. Crushed booth. I won't let this booth's death be in vain. It didn't really die. Of course it didn't. It lives within all of us. Ah, yes. The booth is the friends we make along the way. That's perfect. Okay. Back. Maybe talk to get to the bottom of this atrocious mess. Where do you think I should start looking? The auditorium, of course. That's where the whole thing took place. Sounds good. Okay, and then Say. Thanks for worrying, Dana, but it's not. It is. I just can't let a scumbag like this roam free in my school. Our school. It's our school. Then be careful, okay? Alright, so let's move to... Let me check the base really quickly. The Zane dungeon. Oh, right. Dana Zane. Duh. Homely and comfy. A base worthy of me. But if Stella comes to clean, I won't complain. Alright, so look around. I wonder if Stella could find that squirrel that got in here last week. Okay, sure, why not? Find a squirrel. Alright. Talk. I hear voices in my head! Does that voice include me? They counsel me. They understand. They talk to me. They talk. Oh no. She's really getting into it. All right. To the auditorium we go then. J.K. Lawler. All right. Let's check out the You can't pass. Oh, Gabby. Whoa, why not? Because I'm the law. And the law says you can't pass. But why? Because I'm the law. Okay. Oh, it's you, Gabby. Agent Extractor, Extra-D. Awesome Agent Gabby. And who gave you authority? What's that? The power to say that I can't pass. The law. Says who? I override law. For legal reasons, no, I do not. But aren't you the law? Yes. Then you gave yourself power. I did what? You say you're the law. I am. And the law gave you authority. Yes. Then you gave yourself authority. Please, don't cry. She's just a little girl. Say, where's Jill? At the entrance near the blue tree. Thank you. Blue tree. Okay, so Gabby won't let me pass. Let's look for Jill at the entrance. Look at Gabby. What? How old are you, Gabby? Yeah, that's the thing. Gabby in the original game is young. I'd say just before... Let's just say just before the legal age. Let's just put it that way. I believe she should be around 17 or 16. I think. I could be wrong. I'm 8. Makes sense. You look like you're 7 to me. I'm not. I'm 8. I'm not small anymore. But you're not as big as me. I'm medium. Very convincing. And then the auditorium, J.K. Lawler. A controversial figure to some, but a man I can't help but respect for all of his accomplishments. Jill says he's a lecherous old man. That's one of many things he is. What does that even mean? What if I gave you some candy? You can't bribe me. Crap. Is this what I've sunk to? A bribing punk? Is a bribe when you tell me something because you think I'll believe it? I think that's fooling. That too! You can't cooling me! Alright, let's just get to the entrance. We need to find a blue tree. I mean, it should be there, right? It's gotta be. That's close enough. Great! Just the girl and the tits I was looking for. I really shouldn't be surprised. I really shouldn't. It is the humor of the first game. Dana, can you come and cheer up Jill for a bit? What? What happened? What did she do? Nothing happened. Were you crying? Who the hell made you cry? Nothing? Who's nothing? Nothing made me cry. I just kind of did. Ah. I get it. I don't get it. Aww. I know, right? Are you here to patronize me too, boss? Maybe later. Say, can you do something about Gabby? That brat sneak into the cafeteria again? I wish. I have a craving for pickles right now. What's this about pickles? Wait. Alma, no. No. Bad Alma. Bad. Last week, Gabby snuck into the cafeteria and put pickles in everything. Oh god, that girl. So, what is she doing this time? She's blocking the auditorium entrance, saying she's the law. Ah. Don't worry, it's almost her nap time. She'll be out of there in no time. Really? Yeah, she'll probably be gone by the time you get there. Ah. Okay, Jill says Gabby should be gone by the time I go back to the auditorium. I just look around for a bit. For the tree. Is this the blue tree? Blue what now? Gabby said you'd be near the blue tree, whatever that is. Knowing her, it could be many things. Blue tree, glue tree, dew. Ah, it might be dew tree. Dew tree? One time she asked what the little droplets on leaves were. Blue tree. Although the tree where I told her that is that one over there, not this one. Ah, okay, I get it now. So, no dates today? Oh god. Did I make it look obvious? You don't have your killer look mode, so yeah. Killer look mode. What gives it away? Is it the different perfume? And the hairstyle, and your skirt, and your makeup? And you're not making your cleavage more obvious than the sun. Oh, so now she's prim and proper. Sweet. What? There's something twisted in how you look cute when you cry. But it's not half as cute as when you're happy, you know? That implies she's happy at all, though. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. And then talk to Jill. So, to be clear, nobody bullied you into crying, right? My uterus did. For some reason, I don't want that explained. Yeah, that one's beyond my reach. Don't worry, Dana. Someday you'll get there. Okay, underappreciated joke right there. I see you, writer. I see you. That is such a stupid joke. I love it. Don't worry, though. Crying is natural. Do you cry, boss? You'd be surprised at how easy it is to make me cry, actually. How easy is it, then? Tell me. So, why do you want to get into the auditorium? Say's project for the festival got crushed, and I'm investigating. It was stored in there, so that's the scene of the crime. I see. What do you expect to find in there? I don't know, something epic? Like what? A copy of Homer's Iliad laying on the floor? That wouldn't be bad. Well, you're taking things too literal on that. Hey, at least Jill appreciated it. Fuck. Made you laugh. Damn. Okay. So yeah, back to the auditorium. Gabby should have left by now. Unless something else gets in our way. Oh, Gabby's gone. Well, let's check out the auditorium. Oh, inside the auditorium. Nothing! There's nothing in here. I get it's supposed to be some kind of representation, but still. Wow, that's one hell of a big hole! Hi, Dorothy. Oh. Yahoo, Dana. You came to see the big hole, too. I came to investigate this place, but I didn't expect this. Investigate? What you investigating? Tell me. Well, that sounds like this is a bit of a long story kind of well. Let's talk in my classroom. It's cooler there. Sure. Dorothy told me to meet her at the classroom. Let's look first. Hole. The plot thickens. Anna. Oh! Hey! I got an ad. That's new. Oh, did you now? Why, hello there. I'm Anna. Anna Graham. You might think we met somewhere before, and you'd be wrong. Don't tell me what to do. Oh, she's even got the jeans. Yeah, the weird description. How are you enjoying this adventure? I, for one, love to comb through games as much as I can. It feels great, doesn't it? To have your curiosity acknowledged and rewarded? So, let me ask you to keep it up. Let your curiosity get the best of you. Who knows? There might be a reward at the end of it all. Or everything will crash and burn, whatever comes first. Oh, thanks, I guess. Okay, then we got no one to talk to, so we gotta go to the classroom. 7-2. Okay, what is that? What is that? Oh yeah, that. The weirdest thing happened. A kebab just went and crashed through the window. Oh, okay, so that's a kebab. Okay, good. If you don't care where it's been, sure. On second thought, I don't want it anymore. On second thought, I do not want this anymore. So tell me, who was with you at the auditorium? You saw someone else? Don't play stupid. I bet you were about to indulge in some steamy action before seeing the hole. You were actually investigating? Well, yeah. There was an actual hole right there. Well, yeah. And here I thought Honey finally hit the jackpot. Dorothy, please explain what the hell you're on about. Is this the game, though? Oh, yeah. The sex. People go to that auditorium to make out, to eat each other. So I thought the whole determined. Which hole were you looking at? Yeah, no. Aww. So, what were you investigating? Say's project got destroyed and it was stored there. And you think the ceiling crushed it? I thought someone crushed it. Well, the ceiling didn't just disappear. I heard they were clearing away rubble and debris before. To be honest, I'm more worried if someone got hurt. So, mind if I tag along for a bit? With me. Don't do that. Sure. Let's check on everyone and see if someone's hurt. Okay. Talking to a kebab. I wonder where it came from. It was sent from the heavens. Through the window? Heaven works in mysterious ways. Lord works in mysterious ways, I suppose. Look. Yeah, nowhere to look. I'm assuming we need to go to the auditorium. No, never mind. In that case, to the yard. Betty. Whoa! Did you bring us a snack? Mine. Don't be like that. Where did you find it anyways? On the floor. It crashed through the window, actually. Did it now. I'm surprised nobody's ever heard of it or came running over. Say can have some if she wants, though. Oh, I'm fine. Thank you. Look. Say crushed Booth Betty back. Say. So, what do you think, Dorothy? She looks cuter since she went back to wearing a female uniform. True, but what about bruises? None that look fresh enough. You said something? We're just cheering you on. Go, Say, go! Getting done fast. Extra hands go a long way. What do you smell, Dorothy? What is it, girl? An answer. Is something wrong? How did you get those wounds? I tripped on my way here. When? When I was buying stuff for Say? How long ago? It was an hour ago. Why so many questions? Those bruises should be fresher. And unless you trip down some stairs, you... Dorothy! Dorothy! What did you do? I was gonna make out with Vera when the roof fell and I tripped on Say's project running away and I crushed it. And I'm sad and hurt and horny in it. Good to see you, streaming, sir. How's it going, Mr. Monocle? You came at just the right time. Jesus Christ. What the shit? This friggin' game, I swear to God. Look, this is supposed to be a spin-off to the main series, though the humor itself is expected, but I can't help it, man. This is my humor, bro. Good timing. Oh my God, you dumb girl. Why did you get some help for those wounds? I'm so sorry, Say. I didn't want to do it. Well, you didn't really crush it intentionally. If you did, then it'd be harder for me. But I'm honestly more worried about you. You could have seriously died there. Yeah. For real, though. Well, I guess that's that mystery solved. Why did the ceiling collapse, though? And where did the kebab come from? Mystery solved! Anyways, you need help, Say? I do, actually. All right, count me in. All right, time to help out with the booth. Hours later. Finish it today. All that time, we could have been helping Say instead of chasing shadows. Sorry. Like Say said, it's not like you did it on purpose. Hey, Say? Thank you so much. So bright, my goodness. I was worried I couldn't finish it on time, but you all helped me out so much. I didn't just get back up to speed. I was having a lot of fun too. Well, count on me for tomorrow too. Me too. And me. Everything turned out okay. Everything even cooked. Oh, the kebab that was thrown from the window. Of course, just take a bite and there's paper. You found it on the floor. I'm surprised there's only paper on it. Does it say something? We have taken your friend Iris captive. Come to the pier alone. Up! To be continued. And that's it. That's all the game is. Yeah, load. Yeah, Load what? It's not even that big of a game, bro. Wow. I mean, unless there's supposed to be different ways that I could do the game, right? Okay. Move to the base. Move to the yard. Maybe you pressed something wrong. Maybe. I mean, there's a chance. There's definitely a chance, but I do want to see for myself exactly what else. Because I haven't done certain things just yet. I haven't checked out. Well, once I reached the auditorium, I didn't get the chance to check in with the other students like Jill and Alma. I haven't checked them out just yet. Besides, it's a fairly simple game. I mean, I did do a little bit of research on this one, so it's definitely a very, very short game, even to the point where it's you can complete this in about 25 minutes or so. So I guess I shouldn't be that surprised that the game ends in a cliffhanger. I'm not too surprised about that, but I do want to see if there's anything else that I missed out on. Well, through all of this. Yep. Into the auditorium. Okay, then move to the auditorium. No, classroom. Okay. Yard base auditorium entrance. Yeah, entrance. I didn't go here I didn't go here though. Hey. Dorothy! I'm a sidekick! So, what's up with that hunk of meat? Honey, is that any way to refer to your boss? Jill, please. I know you have an interest in Dana, but still. What? No, So, where's Gabby? She went home. By herself? Her sister came. Oh, So she's alive around this, in this spin-off then. Okay, Dorothy, analyze her. She'll grow into a damn fine woman as long as she keeps a good diet. That's not what we meant, Dorothy. And the bruises? The edges of her eyes look a bit red. Oh, that's because she was crying a bit before. The bruises were in her heart all along. Nah, nothing serious. With a ponytail. I have a theory that Jill's twin tails are actually some manner of power limiter. Alright, and what do we have here with Alma? A girl I suspect might have lied about her actual age. And bruises? I see something resembling a red spot on her neck. Boy. You're looking too much. Oh, that's it. Wow, that is actually it. So, Jill, want to check out the hole in the auditorium? Oh my god, is she really inviting you to check her hole in the auditorium? No, please. Well, it's not mine, really. She's inviting you to the auditorium to check someone else's hole? Dorothy, please, enough. Well, are you gonna take the chance of a lifetime or not, honey? You're having too much of a fucking laugh. I'm not hearing a no. Jesus Christ. Hey, Alma, do you know about what they do in the auditorium? I might have started that unwillingly. Really? So I was talking to Lyra from Class C, and we started talking about romance novels. I lent her one of mine, and there was this climactic scene in the auditorium. Lyra told me about what she did, trying to imitate the book, and, well, you know how those things go. A friend of a friend hears a rumor, and before you know it, an urban legend pops up. So, you like romance novels? Jill got me into them, yeah. Damn, Jill. Damn, Jill. Anyone at the base? Hello, hello. Dorothy? Hey, Stella, look at this. I just cleaned this place and you bring a friggin' kebab in here? But it was so lonely by itself. What'd you get in anyways? It crashed through a window. Sure, why not? Never mind. I did my part. Whatever happens after is not my problem. Damn, it still looks messy even after all that. And not a single hair out of place. Amazing. So this is the asbestos room. Alleged asbestos room. Iris made some people run some tests and there was no such thing. I looked into it for a while and apparently it was all a ruse. Why though? The principal had to cut the arts and crafts program for budget reasons. At least that's what he says. Something tells me he had a debt to pay or something. But yeah. Guess he thought asbestos problem sounded prettier than budget cut. How are you using it then? Good old blackmail. Nice. I think the kebab is still undercooked. I call it rare. Says you! Can you eat rare kebab meat? They're not normal, but should you? Like, you ask too many questions. So you really were cleaning the place? Yeah. Why? Are you really that much of a maniac? Because no good deed must go unpaid. Dana was helping me find whoever wrecked Say's project, so I had to repay her somehow. Oh, so that's what it's all about. I just thought you were a clean freak. Speaking of freaks, what's up with the case against Say? There's a high chance it was just a contrived incident. I don't deny the possibility of an attack, but right now it seems unlikely. Unless that's what the attacker wants you to think. Perhaps. Perhaps. Okay, then back to the classroom. I don't think there should be anything else in the classroom, right? Yeah, there shouldn't be anything here. An auditorium. Yeah, because the only thing is just that, and that's it. Yeah, honestly, that's pretty much all there is to it. So if anything, we are more or less caught up with what we need to do. Say. Yes? When you found the booth, did it have debris on it? Yeah. So the ceiling did collapse on top of it. Why'd you tell me this before? I tried to, but you were so focused on finding a culprit that I wasn't able to. Dana. Here I wanted to punch someone. Now someone might have been hurt, you know? Me too! Come on, Dana, you still have one more duty. What were you buying before, by the way? You know, the basics. Glue, nail, papers, markers, booze. Ah, yeah, of course. Everything that a schooler needs. What was the last one? Markers. Yeah, that's the one I just saw earlier. And crushed booth. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, believe it or not, that is actually it. Yeah, it was just the other two girls that I talked about earlier that was missing. But that was it. Yeah, that's actually even shorter than I thought it'd be. Let's see here. Where is it again? No, it's over here. Look at look at Betty. Okay, then skip this one. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything else to look at, really. Mystery solved. Yeah, celebrate with meat. Wait, what? Hold on a second. When did you get it back? When I went to the bathroom. Oh yeah, because we left it because we left it over there, right? You washed your hands, right? Of course. When? No more questions. Dana, come on. Yep, that's actually it. That is actually it. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. But you know what? It was fun just getting back into the world of Valhalla just one last time. Because I did enjoy the first game. I will be open about it. I will be yeah, I'll definitely be open about it. So yeah, it's just a fun game, all around. And this one is just it's just one last thing, just before I just stop partaking in this kind of game. Ooh, it was just only 25 minutes, but Jesus, God damn, that was actually kind of fun. There was one more thing I do want to check. There is one other thing. Because apparently there's also this. Anna has the key. I wonder if I could just extract this. MP4 title. Folder's empty. Anna has the key dated. Hmm. Press the zip file, copy as. Hmm. Yeah, there is something over here. I mean, I can't imagine what it is though. I mean, if worse comes to worse, so let me just go and see what to. All right, one moment, guys. I'll be right back in a bit. Well, I'm still gonna be here. It's just that I don't want to show off of my information here or anything like that. I don't want to show off my blood type or anything of the sort. Yeah, don't. I'm not gonna go and dox myself. The game's files comes with password-protected compressed file named AnnaHasTheKey.rar. In order to learn the file's password, the players must find anagram at various points in the game, which was the one thing. The compressed file. Hmm. So it's a password. So it's password protected. How does one even? Hmm. How do you even change the password on? Here's the thing, though. When I was trying to extract the file, there was no indicator of trying to open it up. Yeah, there was no. Very strange. Unless I use, and unless I use a program like 7-Zip, right? Is that what I need to do? Because that's the only other. Well, you could also use WinRare now that I think about it, right? Yeah, I think we do that one. Should be good. Hmm. Hmm. So see program font. Huh. Okay, so then I go ahead, then do this. Yeah. Yep, there it is. Yeah, this is more or less what I thought. So you need to go and use a different program just to even access this. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about here. So this is more or less what I'm seeing here. So what I need to do is just get a password for this one. But I forgot what the. But I forgot what the what it is off the top of my head. I actually don't have like another screen. Like, I mean, I do have another screen up there, but that's only reserved for my OBS. And what you're seeing here is just the other monitor here. Maybe this one. I forgot if it was together. I mean, we could try. We could try. So kids, don't do what I do. Oh, okay. So I think I did it, right? Oh, yeah, I got it. What's up? The main menu song is a bop. It is, but it's so loud though. So unnecessarily loud. Okay, but yeah, I got the password for this one. I had to remember exactly what it was. But yeah, here it is. So whatever the hell this is, up in smoke. How the hell is anyone supposed to guess the damn password? Yuneji is cooking. Right? It would be nice to see what the what it looks like though. Okay, there we go. Ooh, rendered. The passage of time. This is like PS1 graphics. That's it. Today overslept. My alarm failed me again, and even got fined for the bus. Ugh, damn. This Valhalla Kids was. It was. Yeah, I just finished it up. Yeah. That is so weird to me though. This feels like a cutscene you could find on PlayStation 1 or Sega Saturn. Definitely PlayStation 1 though, especially with the way the textures are warping. That is so strange to me. Why would this be? Yeah, that is really, really strange to me. I like the music, but why this? That is so mysterious to me. And how the hell is it related to Valhalla? So, intriguing. And why the hell would Anna have it? All right. Now, because I completed the game, normally this would be a good time to just end the stream there. However, it's too early. It's too damn early to even end the stream there. Even for the standards of myself, where I would end the stream like I probably say an hour from now. Usually, sometimes. Even for me, it's way too early. So I'd say there's a reason why I titled the stream as I did, because honestly, I don't know what to do after this. I don't really have any other plans other than just playing Valhalla Kids. I do know about the length of the game of being like 25 or 30 minutes or so, but I didn't think it was going to be that quickly. So, hmm, hmm. What to do? What to do? Hmm. Got some ideas? I did see something that you posted on Discord actually. Maybe Genshin? That was also on top of my mind as well. The only thing that was redeemed this day was me getting Archeron. Like I said on Discord, this is my fifth 50-50. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. Which gotta say, congrats. Hmm. All right. You know what? Hold on a second. Let me just go and I'll be back in a bit, guys. Hold on a second. One moment. One moment. Maybe we might do Genshin. We just might do that one. But let me just go and get things set up really quickly. But there is one other thing I want to do first before we go and do that. What's the reaction? Yeah, I do want to do a reaction of something that you just put up recently. Not necessarily the ones that you have been putting over the past month or so, because well, I did say that I was going to change my the way I do reactions and the sort. But this one though is sounds interesting because it is something that I have stood by for a while.
Is the Raiden Shogun?
I'm gonna go and yeah, I'm gonna go and put that up here for now. Then I don't really need to do this one. X this one out. Fetch. You should be fine. This video kind of missed me. It is something that I have stood by, so But to me though, it's less to do with the Raiden Shogun and more to do with Inazuma. Let me go and switch back over here. I thought you should see it. And webcam the different place. There we go. Oh God. Fix that. There we go. All right. So, is the Raiden Shogun? Hold on a second. Now, this is an interesting question. Is the Raiden Shogun the worst Archon in terms of writing? Now, this is an opinion that I have expressed over the past couple of years, even down to my like very brief analysis of Raiden Shogun, and what I mean by that is it wasn't, to me at least, it wasn't just the Raiden Shogun that was bad per se in terms of writing, but more so in general the Archon quests, the string of Archon quests in Inazuma, because by that point we've already had we already had Mondstadt and Leewiz quest, which for what they were supposed to be in, and considering how early and considering how this was the first string of quests that we do have for the game for about a year or so, and we did have like a few like the Archon quest, then we have the interlude quests, and then the quests with Dainsleif. And for the most part, they were pretty good. Those quests were pretty good for what they're worth. And and I did get a bit excited when we finally got to experience Inazuma. Not just with the quests, but it's just that but also just explore the area and all that. And while I do believe, the one thing that I will defend regarding Inazuma is the fact that that Inazuma is fun to explore, but more than anything, the world quests of Inazuma were friggin' fantastic. I will like defend that in the sense that when you go and partake in those quests, with some of the quests especially, you you get to experience the transformation of Inazuma. It almost feels like that as the player character, you are doing something. You are changing the you are essentially changing the landscape of Inazuma. What was once thought to be uninhabitable or anything of the sort, you as the player character, you do change the very landscape of Inazuma, and that is something that I will wholeheartedly commend the devs and writers for, because those quests, bangers, absolute bangers, even more so compared to Sumeru and Fontaine, and that's saying a lot considering how well those quests were as well. The Archon quests, on the other hand, it's a different story entirely. I don't necessarily enjoy the Inazuma quest. I won't say they're bad. In the context of Genshin Quest, it's one of the weaker ones. But considering the quality of quests that we did end up getting before and after, it's not bad. It's disappointing. That's more or less how I felt about that's more or less how I felt about Inazuma in general. It's just that more could have been done with that, and the fact that they had this 3-act structure for Inazuma, it doesn't leave a lot to be it does leave a lot to be desired regarding how the characters of the game would be interpreted as, how the Raiden Shogun would be interpreted as. And don't get me started with Kokomi. Kokomi almost felt worthless to it almost felt worthless. If anything, it'd probably be better for her not to do anything. But that's a story for a different time. For the Raiden Shogun, well, which is the basis of this video, if we're talking about in terms of writing, is the Raiden Shogun the worst Archon? Without watching the video, I'm just going to say, compared to the likes of Venti, Zhongli, and especially Farina and Nahida. Now, I'm very biased. I am very biased because Venti is one of the first Archons that we have encountered in Mondstadt. So he does have a special place in a lot of people's hearts, including my own. Farina is a character that I was at first not considering to pull, but the more information that we get from her, whether it's in the form of of the drip fed content that we did end up getting in the lead up towards the Fontaine, and then her drip marketing that we did get through her trailers or anything of the sort, and then getting into her quests. It's tough competition, and don't get me started with Nahida either, because prior to Farina, Nahida was my favorite one. She's definitely a favorite, more than Zhongli, more than Venti. Raiden, and as for Zhongli, the character is great. He's great. So when you consider the amount of characters, well, the Archons that we have been getting before and after, she's decent, but here's the thing: she does come with baggage. She does come with catches. you can't really say that much compared to Venti or Zhongli or Nahida or Farina. Raiden is the only one that I know of that is a decent character, but with a catch. Funny. Still dying on the hill that Inazuma isn't that bad. I mean, leeway exists. Leeway exists, but it did leave an impact. Plus, I think Raiden is the best region antagonist compared to Azar and the Flood. Scaramouche? Debatable. I mean, Scaramouche or Scaramouche. Come on. I want to see remake Inazuma add a few more cutscenes. Not just add a few cutscenes, but here's the thing: even if we were to add a few more cutscenes to the Inazuma questline in general, you're still gonna be stuck with a few things here and there. Like example, Kokomi's story ain't exactly that compelling. If anything, I think Inazuma doesn't just need a remake. It needs a friggin' overhaul just to make the story be on par with the other Inazuma, with the other quest lines. I think A is best Archon. Sadly, she's Edelgard of Genshin. I would not know. Never played a Fire Emblem. In terms of devices in this controversy, Inazuma, the Metal Gear Solid 4 route. Imagine though. But here, let's hear what this person has to say. Which, speaking of which, hold on a second. So this is a video made by Otsukuri. So big shout outs and all that.
Is the Raiden Shogun a bad character?
That should be fine.
No, she's not. If we're talking meta-wise, you would have to be insane to think that she's bad. Unless
Yeah, not wrong. Because here's the thing. Raiden Shogun, in terms of gameplay, best one. I don't think, even after the other Electro characters that we did end up receiving, Raiden is just the best one. No doubt about it. I don't even think Cloranda is going to upstage her, or any other future Electro character would upstage her anytime soon. So in terms of power level, you're high if you think she's weak.
you're one of those poor souls who doom posted her on launch and somehow refused to acknowledge that she is probably one of the most powerful units in the game right now.
Not only, but but here's the thing: I do remember the doom posting. I remember I was there when people started doom posting about the Raiden Shogun's power level and how she was not able to what do you call it? Damn, what is it? What is it called actually? That playable Yinger? Imagine. I remember that there was a bit of a controversy regarding Raiden where she wasn't able to team up with Beto because her burst she can't synergize with Beto. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. She wasn't able to synergize with Beto all that much, which is stupid. I will still say it is still stupid that it's not that it's still not possible to do. Like I still haven't forgotten Hoyoverse. I still haven't forgotten. But anyway, but all things considered, Raiden could still do work even without the synergizing.
But whether or not she was a good character in the story was something that was always up for debate. The Raiden Shogun, or A if you will, is an extremely polarizing character in terms of writing. People either love her or they hate her, even to this day. Not only was she the first female waifu Archon introduced to us, but she was also the first Archon who wanted us dead. She was also actively harming the citizens of Inazuma in her pursuit of said eternity. At least that was what was happening when we got to Inazuma. While the Fatui did play a major role in destabilizing Inazuma, it is also later revealed that A willingly turned a blind eye towards almost the entire thing. And after the whole civil war that caused the deaths of countless Inazumans, we didn't really get to see A being held accountable for her actions. And I feel like the whole mess that was 2.1 spacing gave A the reputation she's a waifu, but I actually don't think this is true. But before we get into that, let's get into why people think A, at least when compared to the other 3 Archons that we know, is terrible. The badly paced Inazuma Archon quest.
Yeah, that's the major thing. I'd say that because of the way that the Inazuma questline was structured, it never really, aside from maybe Warden Shogun with her story quest, there really isn't a lot of characterization for Raiden to become a sympathetic character in the time frame that was given. It was just badly paced up compared to even before Inazuma. After, I mean, if I remember correctly, I think once Sumeru was released, they did a new quest structure, right? I think it's up to 5 acts now. I think that's what they did. To be honest, Beto and A, if they synergize, would be so broken. Don't care. Don't care. I still want that to happen. Not accountable for her actions. And explained her isolating herself for 500 years for the sake of Inazuma, and her fighting Shogunator from.
As a day 1 player and massive weeb, I was looking forward to Inazuma a lot. The game had already left us multiple hints that the Inazuman Archon, Bal, wasn't going to be as friendly as Venti or Zhongli, and is currently doing questionable things to her people. And when we got to Inazuma, we got to see that the things were indeed pretty bad. The Sakoku decree was in place, which, if you don't remember what that means, is that the borders of Inazuma is essentially closed, save for the Fatui and several Snezhnayan merchants who can travel freely due to their diplomatic ties. The only other way to get out of Rito as a foreigner is to get yourself a travel permit. And as you can probably imagine, this harms Inazuma's economy greatly, and on top of that, through was affecting the vision holders in Inazuma. Despite vision holders being a very, very small percentage of the Inazuma population, the game made it clear that a lot of people were suffering from the Vision Hunt Decree, the Sakoku Decree, and just how bad the state of Inazuma was when we got there.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, for some characters in this game, if they were to have their visions, I don't fully remember what exactly happens because it has been such a long time, but it almost feels like as if they're losing, they just lost a piece of themselves. Yeah, here we go. How could I have forgotten something so important to me? As I think about it, when my vision was taken from me, it felt like I suddenly been hollowed out. It's almost like a piece of them has been taken away. Almost like losing a sense of purpose. I guess that's the best way of explaining it. So for the Raiden Shogun to take away what's essentially part of a person, that's kind of fucked up. I don't think there's any nice way of putting it. It's just screwed up. It's just messed up and all that. You're basically taking away a part of what makes a person a person. If that makes sense. You're just taking away the hopes and dreams of like well, not necessarily the hopes and dreams, but a person's worth, a person's place in Tevat. And in some instances that could be worse than death. It's a cruel thing.
There, not long after, we get to the resistance and we get to see up close what the civil war was like in Yashiori Island. And let's not forget that that's an entire war caused by the Vision Hunt decree. We got to see the horrors of war and how innocent people were getting caught in the crossfire of war, losing their homes and family, as they often do in real life. And by the end of the second act, it was crystal clear that the shogun was causing harm to her people. Say what you want about the Inazuma Archon quest, but the first two acts were good. They were mission. The resistance was executed really, really well, only for it to implode in the very last act.
Yeah. Honestly, even I can admit this. If the Archon quest were to, it does make me wonder though, if because this is a question that I have after I did my 1 year later video on Genshin. There was a question that I was tossing around here and there. Yeah, this was especially after the Sumeru quest line, where would the Inazuma quest line benefit from a 5-act structure the same way that Sumeru did it, and the same way that Fontaine did? So it's for the most part, I'd probably say yes. I'd probably say it probably would have benefited from a 5-act structure compared to the 3-act structure that Inazuma was stuck with. But there would need to be more things added to it, obviously. But all I can do is just wonder what those other elements should be included without feeling too bloated. Like, let's say, for example, the prison arc in in the Fortress of Meripede during the Fontaine quest line. So it's something that I have been struggling to wonder as to whether or not it should have been, if the quest line would have been saved in some way if they adhered to a 5-act structure instead of a 3-act structure. There's a chance, but unfortunately the game was, I think, even if there was a 5-act structure, they probably still would be in the same situation where the business side of things probably would still meddle into the creative aspect of Genshin. Because remember, the Raiden Shogun came out in, I believe, either 2.1 or 2.2, and considering that the publishers, I don't know if it's the devs' idea or if it's the publisher's idea or if it's the business aspect of Genshin that's doing this, the business side of Hoyo, I should probably say, that they needed to get the Raiden Shogun out as soon as possible, just so that way they could rake in the money that an Archon could potentially get. So the 3-act structure definitely made a hindrance towards well, not necessarily that, but more like, it did make me wonder though, because especially considering how complex Inazuma really is in terms of politics and world building, especially compared with Mondstadt and Liyue. So it did make me wonder if so that's more or less one of the reasons why I would think that a 5-act structure would probably benefit the Inazuma quest line. But then again, I don't know if the business side of things would even want that to happen. So it's hard to say. If people are going, If people dislike A, then they're gonna hate Sarita. Yeah, probably. It is, but ambition leads to death. Risk also exists, but honestly, blame the Fatui. If the Fatui and commissions were to blame, then even I would blame A.
Not only did the third act force the Fatui was behind everything plot without any proper build-up other than one mention of Senora in Rito, and then making Kokomi seem incompetent in the process.
Yeah. Kokomi being incompetent. Hey. Look, I get it. I know she's not meant to be a general or any of the sort. She says that she's a strategist, but to be quite honest, there isn't that much strategy going on with whenever Kokomi's around.
They also tried to make me care about an NPC in the span of 20 minutes. I think Tepe is a terribly written NPC. You can come for me for this, but his death literally made me feel nothing. I mean, I felt bad for the guy, but I barely knew him. And at that point, I realized the writers were trying to do too much all at once by shoving all of these different storylines in one act. And mind you, the third act of Inazuma only lasted 2.5 hours.
Well, approximately. I think if one were to split this up into maybe 2 acts, it probably would have been better paced. Because it seems like that they were trying to do so much in the third act. It feels very It's like this. Imagine an ocean of ideas that you have, but the ocean. But considering how stretched out that ocean is, there's and all those ideas that you have that you feel cohesion. You're not gonna get much out of it. And it's why I think that the quests after this one regarding Sumeru and Fontaine were so more so as Sumeru than Fontaine. But Sumeru managed to pace its storyline far better compared to what came before.
Compare that to Sumeru's last act, which is Act 5, which took almost like double that amount, almost 4 hours. And after meeting Scaramouche, Fatui Bad, and a brief training arc with Yae Miko, which I can't even call an arc because it was one training session. It lasted a day. We made our move to infiltrate Tenshukaku, where we immediately faced off against Signora. Saw her get obliterated within seconds, and then we fight A, and through the power of Nakana, we managed to defeat her and change her mind. Okay, maybe I'm undermining the story a lot here, but that was what I felt when I first played through it in the...
It's not wrong, honestly. I mean, say what you will, but the devs were trying to do as much as they can, try to cram in as much content as possible in Act 3, but they haven't fleshed out a lot of it they haven't fleshed it out enough to make a big enough impact compared to what came before and after, especially after. That's more or less how I felt with the quest lines in that particular act. Inazuma crawled, so Sumeru and Fontaine can sprint. Yeah, I guess it had to be one nation. May as well be Inazuma.
2.1 update, there were genuinely intriguing moments that stood out to me immediately too, like when we learned how the shogun is actually a puppet, and how there are 2 archons in Inazuma, and how deep the corruption was in Inazuma, and an idea of the political landscape of Inazuma as we follow around Kuji.
And Sarah was like found dead in a ditch.
Josara, Kazuha deflecting the Musono Hitotachi was also...
Yeah, look at me with a straight face and say that Sarah did as much as she could.
also an amazing payoff to his and his dead friend's storyline. It remains one of my favorite moments in the game to this day. And finally, confronting A herself. Everything was so hype, I was so ready to confront A, only to learn that she was well aware of what the Shogun puppet was doing the entire time. At least she had an idea what the puppet was doing to her people, and she didn't care.
Sarah versus Ignora, Mr. Satan versus Cell. More like Cell versus Yamcha.
Or she just didn't care enough to interfere unless it directly correlates to eternity. She basically said that if it's not about eternity, then I don't want to hear it, bitch. Making sure everything stayed in stasis was A's way to ensure that she didn't have to go through any more losses like she did 500 years ago during the cataclysm. It was in a way her own way to cope with her intense grief of losing her friends and sister. At that point, it was revealed in her character trailer that she lost two of her best friends essentially at the same time, Mikoshi Chiyo and Kitsune Saigu. And then around the same time, she also lost Makoto, which is why she did what she did right after. But at the time, the game didn't really touch on it too much. They briefly mention how A is suffering from loss in a cutscene, and I think that's it. But then, through the power of ambition, like collective ambition, we managed to change her mind, at least about the Vision Hunt decree, not about everything else. Yet. And we conclude the Inazuma Archon quest with A saying that she needs time to think on which direction she will take Inazuma going forward, which brings us to her story quest, the first one.
Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, for a lot of people, I remember that the complaints regarding A's first story quest is just you're just walking around and just doing menial tasks, menial like quests, so to speak. I'll defend this one. I will defend the first A quest in the sense that yes, what you're doing is inconsequential, but I think that's the point of the quest in the sense that she is being exposed after 500 years of isolation. She's now exposed to and it's through that experience that A has finally gained in the same way that Zhongli and the other gods, so to speak, has seen Liyue the way it is today compared to, let's say, 100 years ago, 500 years ago, century, millennia, that they should let the people do what they want to do with no oversight. In that same respect, A looks at everyday life in Inazuma, and it's those moments that would help change A's mind on her on the decree, on the pursuit of eternity of sorts. So yes, I will defend this one. There's no doubt on my mind that it's the catalyst of what would come after.
Probably a lot of other people expected was to see how A would grow as a character and how she would take accountability for her actions in the Archon quest. After all, we did manage to change her mind about the Vision Hunt decree, and she did say that she was contemplating a lot of stuff regarding eternity. So her story quest seemed like the right time to do this, to explore this. But what we got was a quest that felt out of place is the best way I could put it. Her story quest, the first one, is essentially us acting way too friendly to someone who just tried to kill us no less than 2 days ago, and see her slightly changing her mind about her ideology regarding eternity, something that she has not considered in the past 500 years, through dango milk photos and light novels, instead of, well, the damage done by the war that she let happen and the fatui that she let run amok in her nation. And I admit it was actually important for her character development. A needed to learn that change, even in the little things, the simple things, can be good. And I genuinely think that her first story quest isn't as bad as people make it to be.
It's not.
It's not even bad.
I feel that the controversy regarding A's first story quest is a little too blown out of proportion, because there are some good things out of it. It's just that they're just a lot of the people, when they first saw this quest, they just focus on the negatives, more on surface level stuff compared to, let's say, the bigger picture. So yeah, this is definitely something worth defending.
In my opinion, it has good moments if you think about it. Near the end, with Kujo Kamaji and the conflict within the Tenryo Commission, we got to see her act like a leader for the first time and showing mercy towards him despite what the Kujo clan did. It humanizes her, and it showed us that she indeed have what it takes to be a good leader when she's not isolated for 500 years. In hindsight, given what we know now about her development later on, I think her first story quest is just misplaced. If anything, I feel like the writers couldn't have picked a worse timing to put her story quest right after ending the Inazuma Archon quest the way they did. Her story quest just didn't provide the closure that a lot of people playing back then was looking for.
You know where this if this was treated as an Archon quest instead of a story quest, it probably would have been better. If anything, I'd probably say this might be a Act 4 quest, if anything.
Including myself. For those who don't know, the only available quest was Raiden Shogun's first story quest. So for a lot of people, it was the only story content we had going. And technically, the story quest available right before her was Ayaka and Yoimiya's, which definitely had fan service and what some people would call a date quest, which probably contributed to people seeing A taking a stroll with the Traveler as essentially another date quest, like similar to Ayaka's. I feel like it might be possible for people who started the game after 2.1, like a lot later, to have a completely different perception of Raiden's first story quest, given that they aren't technically forced to play her story quest right after the third act of the main quest, just because there's just so much content available now.
Yeah.
But I guess to a lot of people back then, including myself, it just felt out of place, and it's almost insulting to the players who were expecting closure to the story. No one wanted to go on a stroll with A through the city right after witnessing what she did. And
excuse me, says who? What do you mean? What do you mean no one wanted to take a stroll with A? Says who? Says you? I'm sure there's plenty of people that want to take a stroll with A. Come on now. Come on. You're lying to yourself if you think no one wants to take a stroll with A. Come on now. I kid, but still. Exactly. But here's the thing. There's a time and place for everything. I think that's what she's trying to say. So it's less about who the hell wants to stroll with A in general, and more of who wants to stroll with A right after the Archon quests, especially given the circumstances of the quest. So I imagine if this was placed. No, I mean, even if it was placed somewhere else, it probably wouldn't structurally be any different. You know how this probably would help? if both of the story quests for A were not story quests. They were combined together to make for one Archon, for one Archon quest arc, the act. I mean, if those two quests were to be combined into one, I'd probably say it'd be received a little better. Think of it as perhaps an aftermath of an aftermath of Act 3. Just have A explore what Inazuma has to offer the Inazuma of today, I should say, and let her see it and let her understand why this idea of the pursuit of eternity is something to not do. And then let her face herself to combat against this. It's possible.
And what she let happen, and seeing how Inazuma has quite literally gone to shit because of what she did. Her first story quest was essentially Hoyo versus Wei to show us that A is more than her tough warrior, unfeeling puppet exterior. She has her unique quirks, she can't cook, she likes desserts, she has all of the qualities that make her a cute waifu who is also strong and fearless, all of which would have been good additions to A as a character if not for the fact that we just spent the last few quests seeing the pain she caused and then seeing her not taking any repercussions, and how she f***ed up Inazuma because she couldn't really deal with her grief. Scaramouche and comparisons to the other Archons. On top of everything we just went through, we later learned that A is the reason why we even have Scaramouche. Granted, his actions aren't the atrocities that Scaramouche did when he was living as Konikuzushi and as the Balladeer, but
Yeah, not wrong. I'll agree, because by that point, Scaramouche has gained independence. So whatever Scaramouche did, that's on him. Pretty ballsy and delusional to judge your god.
what she did to him was morally questionable no matter how you
Yeah.
see it. She created a being that she knew was fully sentient, but just left him to sleep, essentially abandoning him, and then never bothered interfering even though he was going on a murderous rampage.
Yeah, morally questionable, but at that point, it wasn't even the Raiden Shogun's fault that Scaramouche became the way he is. It's just now in the creative process. On the other hand, in the creation of a Scaramouche, that's a different story.
In her own country,
To be honest, the Ye wanted him destroyed. Also, Dottore is responsible for Scaramouche going evil. Not wrong.
Scaramouche didn't just kill one or two people, he ended entire bloodlines. But I guess A just really couldn't bring herself despite discarding Scaramouche after he couldn't fulfill his purpose. But you would think someone destroying the Raiden Gokaden, a tradition so important to Inazuma, that A would at least bat an eye. But the complicated relationship of A and his son is a discussion for another day. And since the release of Sumeru and its excellent writing, A is often compared to Nahida, who suffered just as much as A, and she has been nothing but kind, helpful, and benevolent to her people, who, mind you, rejected her, kept her imprisoned, and tried to also a newborn Archon. She and A technically became Archons around the same time, since also died in the Cataclysm after trying to cleanse Ermental from
Oh, funny.
abyssal corruption. Even Zhongli, who has made morally questionable decisions,
Still a better mother than Medusa from Soul Eater. Everyone, it's a better mother than Medusa from Soul Eater. Just saying.
as well has led Liyue without failure for thousands of years. That man was responsible for building Liyue from the ground up and cultivating it into the prosperous nation it is today. Even though he also suffered extreme grief and loss when he lost Guizhong, someone who he holds very, very dear to his heart in the Archon War. Even Venti, Mondstadt's resident alcoholic and absent Archon, still cares a lot for his people, which we have seen time and time again through his story quests and also events. He has always watched over his people and has their best interest at heart, which makes A, by comparison, just a horrible Archon in the eyes of the players. So based off the Archon quests, story quests, and hidden lore, A is selfish, incompetent, childish.
Selfish, incompetent, childish. Agree on the selfish, because she had herself, because she made what she essentially did is hired a babysitter just to look over Inazuma for over 500 years. She's like a deadbeat mother, so to speak. She just had someone else to take care of the baby while she goes and does something. What that something is, I don't know what. But she never came back home with the milk. She never came back home with the milk for 500 years. Incompetent? I imagine this. Incompetent in the sense that she doesn't really take that much responsibility as an Archon for over 500 years. I can almost agree to that. But in her mind, this is the right thing to do. This is something that she wants to do for the same things that she's experienced in her life. So I'm less incompetent, more irresponsible, if anything. Childish? I got no comment on that one. I got no explanation on that one.
And overall, can be a huge bitch, but
okay. Can't be a bitch. In comparison, though, in comparison to, let's say, Signora, Saritsa is actually the more horrible one if we take her subordinate's actions into account. It's not a competition.
that's just not true. There's so much more to her character than her mistakes. In defense of Raiden A.
Oh, your favorite part, Emil.
Here's the thing about A. She was never meant to be a leader. She was always Makoto's shadow, her body double. Her character story mentions how Makoto was never the fighter out of...
Yeah, if I remember correctly, if I remember correctly, A was meant to be, yeah, she was meant to be a body double for Makoto, who is the real Archon, right? And I don't remember what the purpose was exactly, but I sort of see this as someone who's trying to, how do you call it, take attention away from the real person. It's kind of like having technically two kings, but one actually has more power, the other one is just for show. You know what I mean? I'm not sure how to fully explain it exactly, but it's just so that way assassins wouldn't be able to differentiate between the two. Again, that's more or less how my brain would attempt to understand exactly the concept that they're trying to pull here. But that's more or less how I got it. The fact that she has flaws. To be fair, Venti's character flaw is just drunk. Just saying, A isn't the worst.
Of the two of them. So A is...
Yeah, so anyway, though, getting back into this one, he drunk. The drunk. Anyway, though, regarding A, so she wasn't necessarily meant to rule over anyone. In fact, I don't think she ever had any experience in doing so. Just Makoto. But once Makoto died, she would needed to. She more or less had no choice but to a little bit like I would say a little bit like Farina, but it's far more. But honestly, it is a little more tragic compared to what Farina had. Well, I'm actually not so sure if it's even that tragic because Farina had to play the part of being the Archon, knowing damn well that she has no power at all. Whereas with A, one could make the argument that she does have power. It's just that she doesn't have the. It's just that she doesn't have the experience to rule over a nation. Hmm. Hmm.
Always the one in the front lines. Before the death of Makoto, A's whole world was war and fighting and killing. She was the one who defeated Orobashi when he tried to invade Narukami Island. So she was always a warrior, not a leader. Her incompetence in running a country shouldn't be at all surprising, considering that when Makoto died, A instantly freaked out and became terrified of erosion and spent all of her energy making puppets so she can prevent erosion. And then
I think Makoto not telling A the truth and basically going on a suicide mission. Maybe because telling her the truth would doom Inazuma. Probably. Not saying it won't. But there has to be a better way. Anyways, that rubs me the wrong way.
lived in isolation for 500 years. Literally, like up until the point we meet her. She didn't have time to grow into a great leader. It's not like you could learn to lead while staying in stasis. She has always chosen to ignore everything happening around her because she was so hyper focused on achieving her goal, achieving eternity, and not having to feel grief
so
or loss ever again. And this was always her biggest flaw.
But currently, Nahida was old.
But Nahida was a great Archon right off the bat.
So imprisoned, and she's a great leader right off the bat.
Well, let's not blame A for not being the wisest god in Tevad. It's not really her fault that Nahida is a wise and competent Archon almost immediately. Being wise is quite literally Nahida's biggest strength as an Archon. And even though Nahida lived most of her life in isolation, she has always tried her best in understanding humans, the human heart, which is something A has clearly not done until we meet her. I don't think it's fair at all to expect A, who is a warrior, to act the same way as the god of wisdom herself. Like, come on guys, give her a break.
If she's so incompetent, then...
During the war, A sacrificed her life so Makoto would become Archon, and Makoto brought her back.
Of Inazuma should hold her accountable for all of the horrible shit she did.
And while I agree with this to some extent, it's also the reason why I think the Resistance was such wasted potential in terms of story, because they never really did anything despite go against the Shogun's army.
Yeah, more should have been done with this quest line. Well, more specifically, the Resistance.
And by default, the Shogun herself. However, the society in Inazuma is based on Japan, specifically Sengoku era Japan. There's this Reddit post explaining A's ideology and actions based on real historical Japan. I'll link it below if you're interested. It's a really good read. So why is this important? Why is it that just because Inazuma won't take A accountable for everything she did. It's mentioned in A's character details. If you're an Inazuman citizen, the first thing you learn is about the shogun and how great she is as a god. Everything that happens in Inazuma is for the glory of the shogun, and the people of Inazuma has always believed that their archon is both wise and strong. They never knew that they had twin archons. Concerned, the righted shogun is one person, Makoto. So they never really had any reason to question her leadership for thousands of years, like since the Archon War. And the Vision Hunt decree, Fatui, and everything else only happened in recent years, so it was like maybe 3 years of suffering versus 2,000 years of prosperity.
Yeah.
So she was never going to be held accountable by her people as so much leader and a warrior. I mean, I could see Kokomi and the people of Watatsumi calling her out for what she did, but we all know how badly Hoyoverse handled Kokomi's writings.
Yeah, so it's like 499 years versus 1 year.
So,
She killed Kazuha's friend.
well, technically, that's very much false.
More like... Well, hold on a second.
Because it was her puppet who killed him. And even then, Kazuha's friend is the one who challenged Kujo Sara to a duel before the throne and then lost. Hence why the Shogun puppet executed him. I'm kind of sure A wasn't even paying attention to the whole thing because the puppet was just carrying out what she was made to do. It's the same reason why the puppet executed Signora immediately after she lost to the traveler.
She was the enemy.
To Tenshukaku. Kazuha himself said that his friend's biggest dream was to witness Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. So there was no way that he didn't know that was his fate if he lost the battle against Kujo Sara. The puppet, as explained by A herself, was given instructions to always act in the interest of eternity, no matter what, which was brilliantly explored during the Saving Grace. That was her second story quest. I think the execution was just a lot better. Not
even I said this in my 1 year later video. I've also stated that it's that the second quest for A was great. It was definitely great. The quest that saved Inazuma. Did it though? I will say this: the second quest is really good. I mean, really, really good, especially considering what we had before. But the one that saved Inazuma, it's hard to say. I mean, you still have the incompetency of the resistance fighters, so it doesn't really. I can't really say that it saved the entire Inazuma quest line, but it did at least end on a better note. Let's just put it that way.
Not only did the quest have really interesting and immersive mechanics, it also builds on the things that was previously established in her first story quest and the Archon quest. Not only did the quest double down on the grief A was feeling because she lost her sister and her best friends, it also showed us that she was completely unprepared to lead a nation, and she recognizes this. A admits for the first time that she has let down her people and dishonored their memories in the pursuit of eternity. She even says herself that what Inazuma needed wasn't a fierce warrior, but someone more like Makoto, whose ideal was transience. A was the first Archon, and remains the only Archon, at least as of the writing of this video, who questioned and set aside her own ideology for the betterment of her people. And right after A has this realization, the puppet instantly thinks she was affected by erosion because she was changing her mind. And afterwards, we got to see A fight her own unshakable ideals in the form of the Shogun puppet. She's quite literally fighting in order to overcome her grief and past ideology that stopped her and in turn Inazuma from moving forward. At the end of the battle with the Shogun puppet, A mentions that she refuses to look at the puppet as a mere tool like she did in the past, which we know is very much what she used to do. The puppet, in turn, said that she has indeed changed for good. So, is Raiden A bad? No, absolutely not. She is just as complex as the other Archons we've met so far. It's just that she has the most obvious flaws. To compare, Venti's most obvious flaw right now is that he's an alcoholic.
Yep.
And even
Damn, that's what I said too.
then your last brain cell could probably tell that he's hiding a lot behind that facade. So that's not his full story. And the same thing with Zhongli. Nahida is a victim more than anything else, hence it's kinda hard for you to criticize her as an Archon or God because she quite literally was never given the chance to even lead her own people. And it is crystal clear that she was the main victim in her circumstances.
Very much, yeah. It's also one of the reasons why people, because she is a massive victim. And as for Raiden, some will say that some, especially you, Emil, would go to her side and defend the Inazuma quest line. But in my opinion, compared to even the quest from before and after, the flaws themselves are made so much more apparent than any other quest line. So it would be hard to even defend some of what's been even for the better moments of the Inazuma quest line. It would be hard to defend certain aspects of the of said quest line compared to other ones. He needs flaws.
But A was the only Archon that we got to see go through so much change and development throughout the game. We couldn't have seen her growth had she been a fully developed character like Venti or Zhongli. A's writing was always about her coming into herself and finding her footing as the leader of Inazuma while accepting that her ideology of eternity was something that her people didn't need. Her first and second story quest was about confronting her past and her past ideals, which is the only way she could move forward as a person, which convinced me that she's not a badly written character at all. She's only now started her growth, and maybe down the line we get to see more of her dealing with her past actions, and it would be so interesting to watch because A has changed so much over the past year, and it leaves a lot of room for even more growth in the future, which is something that I am looking forward to. Any Archon lore is something that I welcome. So in conclusion, I think Raiden A suffers from a bad first impression, which unfortunately is, as they say, a lasting impression. So a lot of people are under the misconception that she was just badly written because the Inazuma Archon quest had pacing issues. But that would be such a disservice to the thought the writers have put in A and her growth as a character. So yeah, that's my Raiden A video. I love Genshin's lore and I had the idea to make this when I rewatched A's second story quest, and she says she no longer views puppets as tools, which will change her dynamic with Scaramouche significantly. Like, I can't help but wonder how he would even react if he knew A is a completely different person now. But those are brainworms for another day.
Well, that did not age well. Yeah, that did not age well at all. Especially considering what happens to Scaramouche after the fact. So yeah, this did not age that well in terms of in the case of Scaramouche, which now is Wanderer. The only other thing, here's the thing though. Hold on a second.
Let me know before we got to know her, like as a villain, or if you're on the same page as me and you like her development. Feel free to correct me if I got anything wrong.
Subscribe for Dongo Milk. Here's how I would interpret it as. Nahida is a victim in her own storyline, whereas with Raiden, she is a victim of circumstance, in the sense that, considering what's been going on behind the scenes with the development of this game, if I remember correctly, the writer for the original writer, the level, just a while back before this game, before development came time to create the storyline for Inazuma, and the only thing that was left regarding that was just a couple notes here and there, and the writers that had to come in and develop it and just was left behind, just so they could make a good enough story for the Inazuma quest line. And I don't know if it's the skill, if it's no, I can't blame the writers on this one. I really cannot, because it is a creative endeavor, and you can only do so much with notes. It's kind of like making a 5-star cuisine out of a frozen meal. You could try your damnedest to. It really depends on how you execute it. It really depends on how well you could craft said, well, just how you craft it, really. And then there's the issue of the business side of things, just trying to develop A's character as much as possible and as fast as possible. Just end of the Inazuma Arc Conquest, A would appear as a sympathetic character, as a waifu character, just so people could pull for her as much as possible. Tried to maximize as much profit as possible. With that said, however, it's really hard to say whether or not I would. Well, after watching this video, it's hard to say if my opinions were to change based on what's been put into this video, because I mean, again, I've already made my stance on it a while back, and it really hasn't changed all that much. With that said, I am open to different opinions on the characters themselves, on different interpretations on how people would perceive characters after the fact, especially after the fact, because how much better writing we've gotten after Inazuma. And I mean, I'm not so sure if it's thanks to Inazuma or not, but once Sumeru rolled around, we did end up getting a 5-act structure instead of the 3-act structure that we had before. There's a chance that it might have been a response to that, and because of that, we managed to get their time in the spotlight, especially with Nahida and Farina. But to say that the character, but of course, we can only say it in the now, because hindsight's 2020, which is ironic because the game came out in 2021. Which is ironic because the story quest for Inazuma came out in 2021, but that's neither here nor there. But for the time, it was just all circumstantial. It is unfortunate that Inazuma had to take the fall, so Sumeru and Fontaine can run as far as they could. To me, however, or just in general, the Inazuma quest line, all things considered, it could have been so much worse. It's just that the execution behind the quest line could have been better, especially now knowing how well written the quests after this one were, because I don't doubt that this is the same team that would eventually go on to make, and by team I mean by the writing team that would go on to write for the Sumeru quest line and the Fontaine quest line, and and potentially Natlan and Shiniznaya. Finally avoided the dislike button, Lamau. Like, thank goodness. And we just see you just toss a stone that you picked up in preparation. But yeah, this was a good video. Yeah, they did address in terms of lore, in terms of story, they did address what was wrong with the Inazuma questline, and more specifically A as an Archon. But they also did come up with defenses here and there, which I can respect. I can respect going against going against an argument with good enough arguments. So yeah, they definitely did gain my respect just for that. By the way, did you see my 5-star in Fago? Got a Vitra. Vitra fine. I blame my bad day for getting me riled up. Fair enough. Fair enough. But hey, you know what? Yeah, this is cool. Yeah, this was definitely cool. Now, it does make me wonder, though, considering the writing team behind this went on to do Sumeru and Fontaine, it does make me wonder if they're going to carry over the same level of quality that they've been displaying towards Natlan, well, more specifically the later chapters. I'm sure, but I can't help but feel, honestly, I can't help but feel concerned, especially with the way that that Fontaine was structured, especially considering how unnecessarily elongated the Fortress of Meripede arc went on for. So good thing they summed up everything. Although the negativity left a bad impression the same way A did. First impressions are everything, and considering that the third act was our proper introduction to the Archon, I basically had no doubt that that people would feel the way that they did, especially considering how good the first two acts were. The third act is where people get rubbed the wrong way. Vitra is basically Snack Demon. Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me pull it up. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now I know who. Oh wait, no, 5-star. I'm stupid. Honestly, as the first new region that isn't Dragonspine, I will always have a soft spot for Inazuma, especially the character cast. Yeah, even I can agree on that one. Which is unfortunate considering how bad they botched Kokomi, because she could have been so much better. Actually, what the hell is she? I didn't even see this one. Who the hell is that? She'll always be better in our hearts. I still use her. Well, it's a good thing then that she's at her. But hey, that's again different story, different time. All right, so it's currently 5:48 from where I'm at right now, and yeah, I think today will be a good time to end the stream. Haven't decided yet on what I want to do just yet for next week. I mean, I did state that once Valhalla was done, and considering that I kind of I did say that I was going to continue that if I am going to stream, it's just going to be finishing up Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. So that's exactly what I'm going to do for the foreseeable future, at least until those games are done. So for the next few weeks, it's just going to be nothing but Metal Gear Solid 2. And then after that, we'll move on over to 3, and then it'll be over. Yeah, did you see the waifu with the veil? Yeah, that's the one I was referring to earlier. So I was wondering who the hell was that, because I have never seen that one before. She's definitely brand new, because I've never seen her before. Facts. Let me just open up another tab here. Ritra. Oh yeah, I've never seen her before. I definitely would have recognized her if I've seen her before. God damn. Looking kind of crazy. Well, it's too bad I stopped playing the game a while back. He's my first 5-star. Not bad though. Not bad. Yeah, because well, I mean, ever since I stopped playing the game, I'm more like it because I don't know if she's new to me because I've never seen her before. So I imagine that by the time that I stopped playing all the way up until now, so like likely in between that time, she was likely newly introduced, but I wasn't so sure how long ago exactly. That's the only thing. Excellent. Check this out. Like, how long ago was this? When was she introduced? This here, she has the highest attack values out of all Lancers. Okay, but that doesn't tell me the banners, though. That doesn't tell me where exactly she came from. Biography, trivia, ascension, full phantasm. And her bond stuff. Hmm. I'm just trying to see like where she is, where she came from exactly. Oh wait, you know what? I think I have an idea then. If I were to go, I remember there being a way for me to shit up. Oh, unless it's over here actually. Craft recommendations, profile. Surely it's over here. There we go. There it is. I found it. Okay, so she's not a limited character. She could be summoned in the normal pool. Pass ban. Christmas 2022 pickup. Christmas. Yeah, okay. Banner add +2 years for NA date. I don't even know if that's even accurate anymore. Yeah, I don't even think that's accurate anymore. Definitely not. Nah, that can't be right. Vlad, Maria, and Chevalier. Looking at a wiki right now. September 2023. Also got the mysterious person analog V girl. Penguin one. You mean? Gotta be recent then. Yeah, if I'm looking at this correctly, then it has to be recent enough. Maybe over here. Profile, personality, role, ability, development. Vitra first appears in the Fate Apocrypha manga as a cameo. Ah. Still checking. Actually, it might have been over here. You did get her recently, so rankings. Yeah, but is this based on NA? Jesus Christ! Yeah, I could tell that this is not. I am unfamiliar with a lot of this now. It's been so long since I played. A lot of this feels very, very unfamiliar to me. Yeah, because if I remember correctly, I stopped playing by the time I did get Raiko, because she was the one character that I wanted, and that's it. And once I got her, I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm done here. I'm done. I achieved what I wanted to do. Now I can get the hell out of here. Servant availability. Okay, then 5-star. Sure. Ah, okay, so 2022, at least according to this. But I'm not so sure if that's 11/22/2017. Okay, I see how it is now. Okay, so this is overseas then. Okay. Yeah, so I'm looking at the dates right here. So here, let me show you exactly what I'm looking at right now. This one. Here. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing right now. So based on from what I can tell, this is definitely around the time when this is definitely based on NA, because she is one of the first 5-stars in the game. And I should know, I did get her at some point. I did get her at some point. And then after that, yeah, all servants, and then 5-star. Yeah, I recognize Karna. I recognize Brynhild. Pendragon Lancer. Oh man, that's one that I really wanted as well, but never ended up getting her. A shame. A shame. Because her ascensions are pretty good. Then Tamamono Mae Lancer. I do remember getting this one. Enkidu never got him. Ershkigal. Radamance, if I remember correctly, was one of the characters that I. It was one of the last ones I remember seeing before I quit the game. So it was a good 4 years, since I quit the game. Then Vitria, she was available 2022, so she's definitely brand new. And then there's the other two that are spoilers. I really shouldn't be showing that, actually. But yeah, for the most part, she's definitely brand new in some aspect. Her trailer is on the 14th of December 2022. Makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. It lines up. Maybe return someday. Can barely recognize characters right now. 2 years old, but still. I've been playing since the game. I was playing the game since it first came out to overseas. In fact, if I remember correctly, it was one of the first gacha games I played. The other one being a Love Live School Idol Festival, but that's only because I only came across that particular game by complete accident. I did not mean to play it around the time when it was brand new. I was just perusing the store and saw, oh, you know what? That looks kind of cool. I'm gonna go and play that. I went into idle hell since then. And then after that, 3 years later, I would end up finding another game, which was this one. And the only reason why I was even interested was because this was around the time when I was getting into the Fate series, where I was in Night Unlimited Blade works, one of the more popular works and all that. So I thought, why don't I go and check this game out? I'll just see for myself what's up and then just dip. I didn't dip until 2020. So it got a grasp. So it definitely got me by the balls, so to speak. I played it in either 2018 or 2019. And you know, one of the reasons why I stopped playing this game, if I remember correctly, was only because the rate up was merciless. If you think that here's the thing. If you think that the gacha rates for Genshin or Nikkei were unfair, this game put just like it pales in comparison to this game. You don't even have there's barely much of a pity system to begin with. There's not even any of them to begin with, actually. And if I remember correctly, it wasn't until recently that there ended up being a pity system for this game. Well, many years later. But even with the pity system, it's still not ideal. It still isn't ideal. So it's like, you kind of fixed it, but not really. You still need to invest a lot of money to even get the servant that you want. So it's not that better compared to the old system that we had. 0.003. That's just the rate in which you want for the 5-star, but it's not even guaranteed that you even get the 5-star you wanted. Remembering this game, it just like pisses me off so much. It's bringing back bad memories. Which the funny thing is this: I put up with it because of the story. Because the story for Fate Grand Order, at the very least, for the first chapter, so to speak. Well, not necessarily first chapter, but more like first arc, so to speak, was that compelling enough to at least see through it to the end. And then the Lost Belts happened. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to continue playing this. I don't know if I want to do that again. Although it would be an interesting idea just to take a look at all of the available servants. Just do a video on rating the servants from the beginning all the way up until, I guess, just to make it fair, it would probably be all the way up until the recent most overseas patch. At this very moment, there's like potentially 400 servants at this point in time. I don't know if I have the patience to even do something like this. 410. Actually, no, not even 410. What am I saying? I'm stupid. Maybe around here. Yeah, Bunyan and Daikoten. Daikokuten. Or Mary Anning. Regardless, I don't know if I have the time or patience to do that, though. Do it. I'll think about it. Because like I said, I have changed my, I am changing the way that I tackle certain aspects of my channel. So, if I am going to do this, it'll be under my rules. Is there a way for me to... It's cheating. Why would you do this? Why would you do this? No, 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 no. That can't be it. You can't do that. You can't do that. Like, she can't be number... That version of Masha isn't the first one. Technically speaking, it's not. No, I can't do it easily over here. That is so cringe. Yeah, I can't just slide to the next one. Never saw the Fago anime. Neither did I. Funny enough, I never did watch the anime of this one. That is not enough to actually go and watch the anime themselves. And yes, themselves, because there's multiple. Sorry, it's been a while. Got a new job at different hours. Well, how's it going, Lord Orf? How's it going? I'm just gonna start wrapping up pretty soon. Actually, I've been streaming. What started off as a 25-minute stream ended up ballooning it to like a few hours or so. Yeah, because we just finished up watching a video on a character on in Genshin, just an analytical video on a character in Genshin, and somehow I sunk an unhealthy amount of time in this freaking game. But with that said, I did enjoy my time of playing a Fate Grand Order. It's just that the memories are coming back, and I don't particularly like that. And I was just saying how wouldn't it be cool if I were to reviewing all of the available characters in Fate Grand Order, especially considering in my past. It is something I'll have to think about, but if I am going to do it, it's going to be under my terms, under my rule set. So maybe something like maybe something like what I did for Smash or Pass kind of thing. OBS skips is getting worse. Good. That means I need to stop streaming now. That means I need to stop streaming now. So yeah. And I have to do that at some point. So it is an idea that I'll definitely have in the back of my mind. It's just I don't know if I'll be able to execute that anytime soon. Especially considering the amount of other videos that I want to complete. So that's going to be a time for another day. So thank you very much for tuning into the stream. Really appreciate you coming on down, hanging out, and all that jazz. Even if it's for maybe like a few minutes, like in the tail end of it all. So yeah, regardless, thank you very much. And I'll see you this coming Sunday for more Metal Gear Solid 2, and we're going to be playing Metal Gear Solid 2 for the foreseeable future, unless something else comes up, like let's say for example a Archon quest or some quest in Genshin, or maybe there's a character that I really, 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 really want, and we'll see where we go from there. Until then, take care, guys.